2,355 pounds. This is a Rockwood A122 toy hauler, or called ESP Extreme Sports Package Edition here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Coming back in, actually. Well, this is a one-owner camper. We sold it to the original owner. They decided they don't really need the whole folding camper thing, nor do they need that front cargo deck. They're done kind of doing the kayaking, or they found a different way to mount the kayaks. I wasn't really given a clear idea of that. Doesn't matter. The fact is, what you got here is a late model, barely used camper with built-in solar on the roof panel and still maintaining side mount solar. You've got those cargo racks if you want to add bikes, or you do have the mounts for a kayak there right now. And you've got a front cargo storage tray where those rails double down as, oh, what am I wanting to say here? Loading ramps. So this is a pretty simple open and shut case of a very nicely well-kept camper. We're going to take a very brief glance at it inside and out, and I expect to hear from a couple of you pretty darn soon on one of these. The floors are still gleaming. This is clean, well-kept. The table's shiny. It certainly doesn't use like it, or look like it was used a whole heck of a lot. The ESP series here, just to kind of give it a cool little accent, it kind of ties in with the exterior graphics. You got a little bit of this, I don't know, neon-y green sort of threading, just to kind of break up some of the monotony of the fabric colors. But this table here is free floating. You can take it outside for picnic time, or it could fold down into a sleeper if need be. And because these campers are 7 foot wide, an adult could actually lay down and sleep on that. Now there's like a furnace and a converter and all kinds of stuff under that bench right there. So there's no storage there, but this whole thing over here is storage. You might notice too that these are carpetless and very easy to keep clean. The entry door has its own little window with a sliding panel there for cross breeze, and I love that extra mirror next to the door just to help make it look and feel a little bit bigger inside. Now, you've got these dual front skylights right there, and they do have shades on them if you don't want to feel like an ant under a magnifying glass, or if you need that privacy. But what they let you do is, even a grown person like me, I can sit with my, left arm all the way against that front wall there, and your head's in the bubble a little bit, but it does make this a very comfortable four-person dinette, so you can sit here, play cards, have a meal, whatever. Now, if you are boondocking and you're going to be using that solar panel, this is going to be one of your best friends here, because this is a very powerful 12-volt fan, like you see in the big fifth wheels and whatnot throughout the marketplace. And it will pull a 6-mile-an-hour breeze, well, it'll exhaust heat out there, and it'll pull fresh air in through these side cross breeze windows right here. Down below our little kitchenette, we do have, this does have an onboard freshwater tank. It does not have onboard gray and black water. One, it doesn't need black water because there's no toilet system. But the gray tank not being there kind of throws people off, because you're like, well, where would that go? It actually just vents straight outside, and you'll want to get one of those little blue tote tanks if you do plan to use that. Now, you do have hot and cold water. This does have an 11 per hour gas-powered auto-ignition water heater, and right next to that we have our propane-powered recessed stovetop, and that tempered glass cover regains counter space we would otherwise really lose and sorely, be sad to see missing. 3-way refrigerator, meaning 12-volt, 110 power, or propane, which means cold, colder, coldest, in that order. And if you're park camping, this guy is going to be your best friend, because this is both a electric heater or air conditioner. So it's a bi-directional heat pump, and that thing works like a charm. Now, you do have this is a 54 by 80 bed, so it's not quite residential queen size, but it is residential queen length. It's just 6 inches short in the width department. But what is kind of nice here is it is a heated mattress. There's a little controller for it right there. The bed also does easy lift to access a portion of the storage that's accessible from outside as well. Now over here, this is where it starts to have some very travel trailer features in a folding camper. I've always referred to these things as mutants, but they're effective mutants. Not like old flip phone camera phones that just weren't good cameras and they weren't good phones, although maybe they were good phones, because a lot of those still work and a lot of smartphones seem to break down. Anyway, countertop space, because of course, why not? That's awesome. TV hookups down here, so if you do feel like putting a TV up here, you do have the space to do it. And over here we've got our Bluetooth stereo system, but what's neat is it does have face-mounted HDMI and USB plugs. So if you want to plug in a streaming like Chromecast or Roku stick, This is actually very modern media friendly with USB plugs right here to keep your phones topped off, and this even has the Wi-Fi Ranger system on it, which is basically a built-in router to improve ease of access and signal connectivity through your campsite, built into the camper. Kind of cool. Outside she looks, again, just like the inside, pretty darn close to new. Up front here, we do have our little toy lock system, so whatever you bring with you, since you can't really enclose it at night, you can kind of strap it to the chassis here, so it's not inclined to go, riding down the road without your knowledge of it. The little green bag here, this is the original owner's manuals from when the folks bought it just last year. And these two, well, you see these side rails right here, they actually come down to form your loading ramps. So it's got, integrated loading ramps on it as well, which is handy. Now, a travel trailer feature on a pop-up camper would be something like having double propane tanks with an automatic regulator to change them over in case one or the other tank goes dead. That's the kind of stuff normal folding campers don't have, but Hardside folding campers and travel trailers tend to have. We do have 4-corner stabilizer jacks, especially as long as this thing is. Now, one thing you folks are going to have to keep in mind, these are not terribly heavy, but you can severely affect the tongue weight of your trailer here depending on how you load on, because anything you load on that front tray is all in front of the axle. It's all dead on the nose of this thing. Typically, though, most folks who are going to get something like this for off-grid use, they're not exactly driving a Chevy Equinox. Not that an Equinox couldn't necessarily handle it, but for off-grid use, probably not the thing you're looking at. So the ESP package does lift the whole body and gives you these really aggressive, high-profile tires right here. That's the back of that heater air conditioner I told you about. And just a little FYI, a little PSA out here. When you see these little hoses sticking out of like a grate or the back of the refrigerator or whatever, don't tuck them in the camper. Those are condensation lines designed to keep water dribbling out of the RV and not being trapped inside of it. The two-tone exterior thing here is something that kind of caught me by surprise when it first came in last year, but I do like it, and it gives it like that good, rugged, industrial sort of look, but I also like the fact that the roof panels are lighter in color so that they're not absorbing more sun than they have to keep the camper cooler inside. Spare tires, never touch the ground, the sticker's still on that. You can see that the original side mount grill is still included over here. Handy little grilling station with a little fold-away tabletop. It needs dusted off because, again, it wasn't really used a whole heck of a lot. And because the whole chassis was lifted up, they did go ahead and put a double step on it to make hopping in and out easier for folks who aren't quite as long-legged as myself. And there you have it. If you look around, I mean, you can see how glossy the sidewalls still are. This has been extremely well kept. Basically, you're looking at a virtually new not travel trailer, but kind of, but camper here at a used price tag. What's neat too is you can probably still get same as new financing on something like this. And by the time this footage goes live, it might not even matter. We've already had 3 folks taking a look at it. I don't think anyone's put any money down on it at this point. I'm not attempting to be a high-pressure salesman. These things are not really in the used market. It is hard to find stuff like this in the used market. So when it does come in, it tends to go out pretty darn quickly too. With that, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.